while he started the last two games, now it's Joe Milton's offense. It's his team as QB1. And the Vanderbilt game and Orange Bowl allowed him kind of a head start there, and he had the MVP performance in the Orange Bowl, so that maybe helps create more optimism. But now it's go time for Joe Milton as QB1, taking over the offense, having been part of the team, playing some, learning in the system the last 2 years.
I'm excited for Joe Milton because, we've seen Hendon Hooker with his redemption story, leaving Virginia Tech the way he did, people questioning his toughness, his want to, coming here to Tennessee, losing the job to Joe Milton, then going back out there, and then the rest being history, being a Heisman Trophy favorite at one point. Joe has that same opportunity, and Joe, I'm sure, has learned a lot from how Hendon carried himself, those guys being roommates, those guys being brothers. And now that time is not necessarily on Joe's side, there's such an urgency. Excited for how he's going to play. He's more comfortable in his offense. He knows his weapons around him a whole lot more. And so I look forward to seeing not only Joe play well on the field, but do the same thing that Hendon did for him and prepare him, help him be a pro, even though you're playing college ball. So far, he's done that with Nico. Like, you're treating a young, talented quarterback the way you want to be treated. And football guys will bless you for that. Karma will bless you for that. So I'm excited to see how Joe handles being QB1 here at Tennessee.
Is anything different now that Joe Milton is QB1, now that he's the guy to help lead the offense at the start of spring? Today, Josh Heupel met with the media, and he answered. How are things different? What's it like now with Joe Milton taking that role over in a more official capacity?
He really has been the same guy. I said this last year. You could feel his energy, his focus, and he was very intentional in the way that he worked. He had a voice inside of our team. When he got his opportunity to start on the back end of the season, I spoke to those things before, the Vandy game and before the Orange Bowl. The same is true today. You hear his voice more often, because certain guys aren't here that were in some of those leadership roles. But that's true for a lot of guys in our roster. And I've been really proud of the way that Joe's worked here. He's hyper-competitive and intentional in trying to become the best that he can at his craft, and at the same time push and pull his teammates to compete at a championship level every day.
Swain, think about when Joe Milton arrived at Tennessee as a transfer from Michigan. He had a couple of months to learn, and I'm sure there was communication before he arrived, but in terms of being in Knoxville, he had a couple of months to learn as much as he could, try to build some kind of chemistry with his teammates who were also learning the offense for the first time because Josh Heupel had just arrived as Tennessee's head coach. That was a lot quickly. He has to have a much better understanding of the offense, his role, what it will take. He's older, more mature. So it would probably be a more natural spot for Joe Milton to lead at quarterback now.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think people understand how hard it was for this staff in Heupel's first season to take a position that was so bad over a long period of time and bring in transfers, bring in a totally different system, and during spring football where you couldn't really hit the quarterback, evaluate that position where all right, game one, this is our guy, and he's going to be our guy for the season. It's hard to do that. Remember, Joe came in after spring practice had concluded. It was after the orange and white game. So now you have Joe Milton coming in. It's May. You're trying to develop all this chemistry with your pass catchers and learn the system and get comfortable in a new environment. It's really hard to do. And that's why you saw Joe be a whole lot better throwing the football when he came in this past season in cleanup duty than he was his first year, because he was more comfortable throwing the guys because they worked together so much during the season because they were twos. They were number two offense. And that's something that Joe personally told me. Like, yes, I feel more comfortable now that I've been here and I have a chance to learn how guys run different routes, how to lead them, who can catch the ball out of their catch radius, who can't as much, and we've seen the difference in Joe Milton.